Hey, welcome to this episode on my homemade composter, harvesting, turning, and inputting waste. So the first part of the process is harvesting. All that cloth there is just to hold the heat in. It's been sitting a little bit, so I'll have to aerate it here. So my composter was just a wood drawer I found on the side of the road. I cut out the bottom and then put a lid on the top with hinges there. It's just plywood. And then I use the cloth to kind of hold the heat in. When I harvest, I use an old bob trailer that's got that expanded metal on the bottom, maybe a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch holes, and so it screens the compost really well. Just the bigger chunks I put back on top after I turn it. You'll see that here in a minute. But I just use the screen to filter out the good finished stuff. And so here it is. You'll see how how beautiful that is. Look at that. And so then I just spread it on the garden throughout the season. Definitely before the winter, and to make room throughout any season, so that I have room to continue to input food waste. So here, just turning from the inputting side to the finishing side. And I'm telling my friend what you can put in there: coffee grounds, coffee filters, food scraps, vegetable food scraps, no meat waste, no cheese or dairy products, but definitely eggshells. Um, and I always layer dead leaves with food scraps. And a tip for not attracting too many fruit flies: before I add banana peels to the compost, I freeze them, and that really cuts down on the fruit flies. So once I've turned everything from the input side to the finishing side, I pack it down, and then I top it off with what didn't filter through the screen, what was still on the screen, so it will continue to break down there. Then I can start the input process over with first inputting carbon-rich yard waste like dead leaves and old dead grass clippings. I always start the input process with brown materials on the bottom, just to absorb any of the food waste, which is the nitrogen-rich green materials that balance out the brown carbon-rich materials. And it's not too hard to get this recipe right. I usually go by weight instead of volume as far as the amount of dead leaves to food waste. And then by leaving the bottom open, you get help from nature with worms and roly-polies and other composting bugs. Then I grab leaves from my new leaf bin and top it off with dead leaves so that I can put food waste on next, and it's ready to go. Thanks for watching this video on my homemade composter.